And welcome back to the Community Corner. And if you could, Officer Solar, could you give a little insight?
I'm the Deputy State's Attorney for Reiber.
So bullying is the same as when
Shop with the Cop program.
Yes, sir.
Could you tell us a little about what does SARC stand for?
All right, welcome back to the Community Corner, and we have our special guest here, Chief Henry Trabert.
Glad to be here.
Sir, I'd like to thank you personally for taking time out of your schedule to meet with our viewers, our friends out in the Community Corner world. It's been about a year since you were here last. And in that year, we've grown probably 5,000 viewers, followers, I should say, on Facebook. Our social media platform has exploded. So this is going to give an opportunity for those new members to kind of find out who Chief Trabert is. Could you just give everyone a brief overview of how you became a member of the Aberdeen Police Department?
Sure. And before I get started, I just want to say it's great to be here. The last time I was here, like you said, about a year ago, we did this with a cell phone. It was being held by Officer Neidick. That was the beginning of our social media program, if you want to call it that. I just want to compliment you on where you and your team have come. I'm sitting here in this studio type atmosphere. It's very impressive.
Thank you, sir.
And our social media with the Twitter, the Facebook, and our website has been phenomenal. We do have a lot of followers, and once again, I just want to say and let the rest of your team know what a good job you're doing.
Well, thank you, sir.
It. And yeah, I've been here for about 32 years with the Aberdeen Police. 7 of those has been as the chief. It's been a great time. We've had some highs and lows, like any agency. But I think in the last 10 years, we have made leaps and bounds in technology. We have made leaps and bounds in our community policing programs and the community policing philosophy. We've kind of changed that a little bit. And I think we are moving forward in a positive way, especially in the areas of partnering with our businesses and our community members.
So what has been your concentration over the past year or so, your policing philosophy that you have the troops out there following?
Well, one thing I've found, as you look back over the last few years, some of the problems other cities have found themselves in is, first of all, you have to have the community's trust. If you don't have their trust, you cannot be a beneficial and productive law enforcement agency. So to build trust is you have to build relationships and partnerships. Relationships with individuals, partnerships with communities, and partnerships with the businesses. That way, when something may not go your way 100% of the time, the community already knows who you are. You already have that trust. You already have that bond. It just makes for a better way to police and provide law enforcement services. So if I had to say, where's our focus? It has to start with gaining and keeping the trust. Now that is an ongoing process. You don't just go out and do a couple community policing events and say you're done. This is every day from the crossing guard to the chief. You're out there every day building that trust, building those relationships with citizens of Aberdeen.
And as a byproduct of that philosophy, we saw some real improvements, not just in 2017, but over the last 5 years in crime statistics trending downward. Could you kind of enlighten our viewers about some of the progress that we've made and some of the crime reduction that's been shown?
Sure. I'm very proud that we're the 4th safest city in Maryland, as been reported recently. Our crime rate has dropped a little over 19%, and that crime reduction was part of our Part 1 crimes, which we report to the FBI every year. And those crimes include homicide, rape, robbery, aggravated assaults, burglary, larceny, and auto theft. Your major crimes. They're all down. We're very proud of that. A lot of that has to do with, I hate to keep repeating myself, but our relationship with the community, because now they report more suspicious activity. when they can report suspicious activity, we can act on it sometimes before the crime even occurs. And that is what I think is, because of those relationships, that's a big part of our drop in the crime rate. Also, it's because of our proactive enforcement activities that the police officers are out there doing day in and day out, looking for potential criminals, looking for ways that they can reduce crime, looking for ways they can prevent crime from happening in different neighborhoods. So we're very proud that our crime rate has dropped significantly. Like I said, a little bit more than 19%.
What's been some of the challenges that you faced in the past year or so?
Well, over the last year, I would have to say homelessness has been one of our biggest challenges. It was kind of a new challenge for us, where we experienced a large influx of homeless people in the last year or so. So that brought about a different kind of policing, I believe, is to meet that challenge. First of all, it became almost nationally known that we had this issue through different media sources, because we were trying to find different methods of resolving the issue. Some weren't that popular with certain groups. So we, as the law enforcement agency, had to find a way to meet the needs of the homeless, meet the needs of the community and the business community, so everyone would feel that it was a successful resolution. My main concern was the well-being of the homeless population. That being said, there were several reasons why they were in the position they were. Some form of addiction. There were mental health issues. Some were people who just lost their job. They were a paycheck away from being homeless in the first place. They lost their job. When benefits ran out, they had no place to go. Next thing you know, we find families in a tent out in the cold weather. That was kind of difficult for us to deal with. So we had to find partners to work with us. We found the community, the Harford County Housing and Community Development Committee. We found local churches and the Harford Family House. We got together with them, and we were able to locate homeless families or individuals, find out what their needs were, find them shelters and services, whether they were for substance abuse, for mental health, or financial difficulties. And our goal was to move them from the tent to temporary housing, from temporary housing, hopefully, to employment and a permanent residence, so they could be law-abiding citizens and successful at what they do. And if you look around now, a year later, I think we've done a pretty good job. There's still some homeless out there. I think there always will be. It's not an Aberdeen problem. It's not a Harford County problem. It's a national problem. I don't have all the answers. If I did, I'd be solving issues for the nation. It's just not out there. But for what we did do, the majority of our homeless, we have found that they are no longer in tents, that I hope and I believe that they are in some type of either temporary or permanent housing. And I know of some success stories where we've gotten some individuals jobs where now they can support their families. So that was probably our biggest challenge.
And kind of shifting gears a little bit, still focusing on the community, one of your biggest accomplishments, I think, in your tenure as chief is really creating and promoting events with the community that draws everyone together. Could you talk about summer's coming, and if anybody's been or attended one of our community safety events that happens during the months of June, July, or August, you know it's a great time, and you know it's going to be a worthwhile experience. Can you talk about some of the things that are coming up for 2018 and why it is that you think it's important to have these community events during the summer in these various neighborhoods?
Sure. I mean, I could talk about gaining the community's trust all day long. I could talk about it on venues like this. I could put articles that maybe it'll be in the paper, but you have to be out where the rubber meets the road, where you're face to face with the community. And the only way to do that is be out there. Let them know who we are. Have conversations with them. Listen to what their issues are. Try to help them resolve those issues. And we found that the best way to do that is to go in specific neighborhoods. We change them up every year. We set up our police displays, fire displays. We have some public works displays. We have games for the kids. And we give away food, hamburgers and hot dogs and some chips, stuff like that, and drinks. But the goal is to get everybody from that neighborhood in with us, and we just have a conversation. It could be about law enforcement. It could be about life issues. It could be about sports. But they get to know who we are. They get to know who Chief Trabert is as Henry Trabert, not necessarily just the chief. And we build that relationship. And I found that, now when I'm in the grocery store or I'm out doing my neighborhood walks or checks, people know who I am because they've never had contact with the police before. They've never had any reason to call us, but because we have these community events and they come out, they get to meet us and know us on a personal basis.
And that's really part of the humanizing of the badge. And I think it's so important to really to create that distinction that it's not just we're robotic police officers that are out there programmed to only enforce the law, that there's another side to that. And I think it's awesome that we're involved in things.
Absolutely.
Like that.
We're all members of the same community. Whether we wear the uniform or not, we are part of this community.
Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to wrap this up.
The Aberdeen Police Department Criminal Investigations Division is seeking the public's assistance with locating two missing persons. Mr. Mark Dickinson disappeared August 26, 2014. Since then, detectives have conducted numerous interviews with neighbors, co-workers, and family members. Detectives also organized search teams utilizing the Maryland Department of Natural Resources Police and specially trained canine search teams to canvass areas throughout the wooded sections of Aberdeen. All of these combined efforts have yet to yield any specific details or clues as to the circumstances or reasons for the disappearance. Mr. Dickinson's family also created and circulated flyers within our community. If you have any information regarding Mr. Mark Dickinson's disappearance or know his possible whereabouts, please contact the Aberdeen Police Department Criminal Investigations Division at 410-272-2121. The Aberdeen Police Department is requesting the public's assistance in locating Mr. William Allen Legg. Legg was last seen at 5 a.m. on November 16, 2017 by an associate who checked on him at his residence in the unit block of Liberty Street. Legg is 53 years old, approximately 5'11", and weighs about 420 pounds. His last clothing description is unknown. If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of Mr. Legg, please contact the Aberdeen Police Department at 410-272-2121. Thank you.
All right, we're wrapping things up for this morning. Again, thank you for stopping out. Any new additions, though, coming to the department in 2018 you'd like to talk about?
Well, actually, yes. And you should know about this because this person will work for you, our community safety specialist. Why don't you tell the audience what you expect out of our new specialist and how it's going to work?
Well, in the next couple weeks, anticipate seeing our community safety specialist who is going to be out on foot patrol, centralized at the Amtrak station, and then as a jump-off point, we'll be conducting foot patrols up and down the 100 blocks of both North and South Philadelphia and up through about the 300 block of West Beller Avenue. And the purpose for this is going to be out there and be an ambassador. It's not there to provide police services, but to be someone that's observing and reporting back to the police department. Someone that's out there that's accessible to our businesses, that's going on, that's meeting the riders from our Amtrak trains, meeting the riders from our bus lines that come through, getting to know everyone that utilizes our downtown business area. And I think what we're going to find is this person's going to be a great addition to our team. So I don't want to let all the details out of the bag, but look forward to, in the next couple weeks, seeing our community safety specialist. He's going to be very visible. You're definitely going to know that he's out there. He's going to be out there to serve our community.
So he's going to be visible. What's he going to be wearing?
I'm looking at probably a red shirt, so he'll definitely stand out while he's on patrol, and he'll be clearly identified as a community safety specialist. And what I'm excited about is if you have those questions, where do I go find this service at? Where do I do this? it's not going to be just related to public safety. It's going to be related to information to how our downtown works and functions. So it's really going to encompass a lot of different responsibilities. And I'm excited. I think we hired the right person, and it's going to be great for us.
That's going to be a great component to our department. I think it's going to work out very well.
Thank you, sir. And any final thoughts as we wrap things up?
Well, we're always trying to improve what we do. And the only way that we can really know if we're doing the job right is to hear from the public, you who are listening to us right now. And one way to do that is if you go to our website, www.aberdeenpolice.org, click on the survey section and look at that, answer the survey, and send it back to us. Be very honest. We want to hear what you like what we're doing, and we want to hear what maybe we're not doing so well, so we can improve on those services. So remember, go to our website, aberdeenpolice.org, go to the survey section, fill it out, write any comments you want in there, let us know how you feel about how we are providing our services to you, and we will try to, we will definitely read the surveys, and we will try to make any improvements that you think we need to make. So I just wanted to say, once again, thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate being here and talking to the citizens of Aberdeen, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, sir. And I'd like to remind everyone, here's an opportunity to be more involved in your local government. And you might be thinking, how can that be? Well, I know everybody has busy schedules. You may not always be able to come out here to City Hall when the council meetings are being held. Well, guess what? You have an opportunity to do that. Simply go to www.aberdeenmd.gov, and now when there's a council meeting, and Chief is always at the council meetings, you'll have an opportunity to see this occurring live. And I'm sure there's archived editions for each one, but if you want to see these council meetings live, you can simply do that. And that's another feature the city's added to make our government more accessible to you. So pretty exciting stuff there. So I bid everybody farewell from the APD studios at 60 North Park Street. Have a safe April, and we'll see you again in May.